On?
Yep, it is.
Hey guys, thanks for joining us on our Sunday walk again.
Happy July 11th.
Yeah, today is also our oldest daughter, Ashley's, and her husband's Tyson's eighth wedding anniversary. So we're excited for them. Happy anniversary, guys. We love you, and we're so happy you're in town, actually. Get to spend time together with you. You guys are just awesome. Work so hard on your marriage and your family and have the most awesome kids, and we love you both.
Yes.
And Desi wants to stop.
And Desi's going to pull us all day today because she is feeling great. You guys have no idea how happy we are because she has not been feeling well. And so after quite a few vet visits, we determined that she can't be eating normal dog food. So we are buying all kinds of specialty foods for Desi, which we already have anyway, right? Just to keep her healthy. But now I have to give her vitamin B shots. You guys, needles scare the heck out of me and always have. In fact, just watching the vet give her first vitamin B shot, I got queasy and I'm like, there's no way I'm gonna be able to do it, but I've actually been able to do 2.
Yay.
It's actually a really big deal.
And she's feeling better.
Yes.
So I mentioned it was Ashley and Tyson's anniversary, and one thing I wanted to mention is because we were talking about our relationship, and that's kind of what this is about, right? You get a little insight into what we go through on a weekly basis, daily basis, and hopefully we're saying some things that people can resonate with and learn from. But we were just talking about how in our relationship there's actually 3 relationships. You know, we each have a relationship with ourselves, right? You gotta have a good relationship with yourself as an individual and know who you are and concentrate on your strengths instead of your weaknesses. If you're depressed, you gotta, work on being happy. And sometimes it has to come within you. So we have our individual relationships, then we have a totally different relationship as a couple, because I can't be 100% me and make our relationship work. Neither can she be 100% who she is without some sort of compromise in there. So as we were talking and before we hit record and we're doing our Sunday walk, sometimes we're walking for a bit before we do this part of it. And she said, ooh, let's turn on the camera. Let's talk about that part because we've got a lot of friends, hopefully some of you are seeing this and we know what people go through, and we need to hear things from somebody else's perspective sometime to really go, you know what, I needed to hear that. And so we're constantly working on our relationship. The reason it's so good right now at 31 years of marriage is because we do work at it. It's not a job, it's not a chore, but it's a responsibility. If we want to stay together, we have to invest in each other, and we have some pretty heated conversations sometimes, and then we kind of come full circle and realize, okay, I understand what you're talking about from your perspective. Mine's a little bit different, but then when we come together and we compromise, the whole tone of the conversation changes. Right?
Well, what I hear a lot of times is that you've got one person that is really very, very driven. The other one's really relaxed.
If you guys hear that, sorry. If you guys hear that, it always distracts me because we're bumping bottles down
it
here.
is so hot out here. We've got to have these water bottles and we're drinking them the whole time. And we usually would like to try to hit 2 of them. But anyway, you usually have one person that's a lot more driven than the other, and it's really hard for the other person to understand, why can't you just freaking shut it off? Well, you got 2 of us that we don't shut it off, but it's in different ways. My mind's always running. Jeff's is always running, but he can sit still and have his mind run. I can't. So I'm constantly
let me just make one comment. That is a big issue because, okay, if we haven't mentioned it before.
Wait, when he licks his lips, it's serious.
No. If we haven't mentioned it before, one of my favorite books on relationships is The 5 Love Languages. It defines the 5. They call it love languages because that's how you feel loved. That's how you prefer to give love. But your partner feels loved maybe by a different language. So for example, mine is quality time and physical touch. Lynn's is words of affirmation and acts of service. And the 5th one in there is receiving gifts or giving gifts, okay? And neither one of us give a shit about that. but you can see our personalities are so different that we have to speak to each other the way that they want to be the other person wants to be heard and how they want to feel. So anyway, back to Lynn's comment.
Really good. I think this is really good. And the reason why I think this is really good is
I haven't made my
because-
point yet.
Oh, go ahead. Okay. Oh, yeah. I always
This
do
is really good. But
okay.
I wanted to go off of that. Sorry, this is just Jeff and Lynn. She said that I can sit still and she can't sit still. So I'm the guy that can sit on the deck and stare at the mountains for hours. And I'm in my head, or I can go up to the cabin and she's like, what do you do up there? And I'm like, nothing. It's so awesome. And I get to be in my head and I get to watch the wildlife and I get moose and deer and elk that just come right up to the cabin. Well, Lynn can't sit still. Her personality is different. Not that she doesn't get deep in thought and think about things, but she has to be moving while she's doing it. So we're the couple that has the conversation, and as we're talking, I want to sit and look at each other, and she'll get up and walk away in the middle of a conversation and yell back from another room, I'm still listening. And I'm like, that you just kind of broke that for me. So when you were talking about sitting still, that's
I just want to go back to that, because when he sits still and he's staring at the mountains and I can't see what's going on in his head, and that he's brainstorming on our business or brainstorming on how to make things better or new concepts. I mean, he's not
Can't
just
see
sitting there. Sorry, she's really dragging. She's having a great time today. He's not just sitting there doing nothing, but because of what I'm about and getting things done and all the things that I'm constantly seeing that need to get done, then that often frustrates me. I know you guys get this. I know it because I talk to people all the time about this kind of stuff. And if without the love language thing, I would never even realize. I just get super frustrated.
Okay, one of the best things you guys can do is figure out what the love language is of your partner, and
compromise.
wonder why they get frustrated with you sometimes because you're not speaking their language. I mean, think of it literally as a language, like a foreign language. It's like, I don't even understand what you're saying or what you're doing. I don't relate to things the same way. I can't even comprehend what you're doing right now because it's not my language. But when you understand, you can be purposeful. Not that you're learning a new language, but I can do acts of service specifically because I know it's going to make Lynn happy. Not that I really even want to do whatever it is I'm going to do.
There's another component to it, though. He likes to go back to the love language, but there's also the component of the way my mind works versus the way Jeff's mind works. Jeff concentrates on something and works on that thing,
right.
whereas my mind is all over the place. I'm always thinking about all the things that I need to do and get done, and literally when I'm sitting at my desk, I am and this is bad. You actually need to create standard time slots for yourself to do things. But if you were
multitasking is a fallacy, guys.
If you were to see the number of text messages that I get on a daily basis and how they're all related to so many different things, and obviously different buyers, sellers, rentals, whatever, I don't even know how I keep it all together, but for me, that's just how I function. And yes, I need to get better at that, and yes, I should have gotten better at that years ago. But that's another thing that we struggle with, is because Jeff will be deep in thought on something and conversation. He'll want to talk about something, and I'll see a really cute squirrel in the tree and point it out. I mean, it's very typical.
It's so true. So I like to stay on conversation, stay on task. If we're talking about a certain subject, I don't want to move on until we've made some resolution or made some sort of progress in the conversation. But oftentimes with her, and this isn't like I'm not putting her down, she's not putting me down, but this is good for you as well, because she'll think of something else that she was reminded of because of wanting to, and before, like we're doing it on this walk right now, right? Interrupting each other. Oh, that reminds me of this. But if I'm talking about something and then it reminds her of something else, she needs to go there before she finishes or loses her thought or makes her comment or whatever. And we haven't finished what we were talking about in the first place. So that can be really frustrating. But you know what? When you recognize it and you know what it is, and you can go back to it and you can openly, like, not necessarily yell at the other person, although I do talk loud and I get louder when I get frustrated, but you got to have the freedom to point shit out to each other and say, you know what, that's not working. Can we please finish this one conversation? Or, okay, let's talk about this, but we're going to come back to this. Communication in a relationship, guys, is key. In fact, another great thing that happened this week is we did a family lake day with our real estate team. Just love our real estate team, and first time we've done it. I'm not an event planner, and I think we pulled it off good, but we had different perspectives on the process to go about that, on planning it, who was doing what, the effort that went into it, It did take a lot of time, a lot of planning, and I so appreciate those that pitched in and helped and made it happen. But it wasn't probably the best use of my time to be that event planner. I'm losing you.
I'm just trying to get water. Sorry guys, I'm trying to get some water here.
So we had different conversations about that, right? You know, it's over now, and we still got now a day of cleanup and everything. We had to hike down to the lake. Wow, the summer is like a different summer. Oh. The water level's so low that you're not really driving down to the shore anymore. We went to Jordanelle Reservoir, but we had to cart barbecuers and food, and ice chests and tents and all that stuff down there. So it was kind of an ordeal.
It was fun. It was like an whoa! It was like an adventure. And it was fantastic, and we had so much fun. And again, remember when we talk real estate team, remember with eXp Realty, we are all one big team. And so you're talking about all of these really productive agents taking a day off on a Saturday. Oh my gosh, that's tough. Everybody, so they're on their phone.
A lot of them couldn't make it because they're working. In fact, I got a call from one of our agents on our team putting 2 new clients under contract. She already has 3 in escrow right now and just working her butt off on a Saturday. And I'm sitting in a lounge chair with a cold drink. I'm good right now. Sitting in a lounge chair with a cold drink and visiting, socializing. We had games going on and music, and it was a lot of fun. But let me mention just one more thing about our team, since Lynn brought it up. We like to call our team, instead of the Marchant Real Estate Group is our family team, right? But as far as our EXP team that we're growing, we call ourselves Team Limitless. There's no boundaries, there's no borders, there's no restrictions, there's no limits on what we can do and what we can accomplish, especially when we're together as a team. And there's teams within the team. I mean, this is just like those that are in our organization, but even below that, there's other teams, right? So there's teams within teams. So it's not just us. Somebody's not just joining our team. They're maybe melding their team with ours, and together we can do more, which also now reminds me of the conversation we were having earlier about what people really want out of real estate and what we feel like is the best benefit to offer other agents. And
Desi's gonna lay down here for a sec. That's okay, this is fun.
I can't see her. There she is, taking a nap. I don't have my glasses on. You guys know I normally wear glasses, but anyway. So one of the big attractors that agents go to a team for that we've found is because they want leads. They want leads that they can do business. I don't really agree with that, and I have actual, individual examples of proof of why that doesn't work. But giving somebody leads is not what they really need. What they need is the help on how to convert those leads, how to talk to people, how to build relationships, how to close deals, how to negotiate deals, how to write contracts. All of that stuff comes because you could have 1,000 leads a week hand fed to you. What are you going to do with them? Where does the skill come from? Where does the collaboration and the mentorship come from, especially if you're new, right? And hopefully we're all learning and growing, but how do you actually turn that into a successful, happy transaction where that client just like becomes a raving fan for you and continues to refer their family and friends to you for future business because you did such a good job? So guys, I mean, if you're in real estate and you're new, stop concentrating on the leads. The leads are the easiest to get. You need to be concentrating on your relationships. Those relationships you already have. I mean, this is my mindset. How silly is it to spend your days out there trying to meet people that you don't know so that you can build a relationship with them so that you can serve them in their real estate needs? Doesn't make any sense if you haven't already concentrated on the people that you do know. Those people that you do know should be getting your attention and learning of the value that you can bring to the table for them and their friends in their real estate transactions, because you're a professional. That's what you're in business for. Your friends, your families, they do a few transactions a year. Some people assume maybe they have more control over a transaction because of the market conditions and somebody's going to buy it, and they don't know what they don't know. And so you can kind of have that conversation with them on how you can bring more value to the table to ensure that they're protected through the transaction. This isn't a full real estate post, but speaking of the team dynamic, that's what at Team Limitless we pride ourselves in, is providing that collaboration, the communication and the support and the mentorship and the training to actually do your business correctly. Again, new agents, stop being so hung up on who's going to give me leads. It's like, who's going to help me help my friends? Who's going to help me protect them?
On a different note, I'm listening to him and I can't let him keep going too far before I say what I need to.
Obviously, I don't take a breath sometimes.
I'll lose it. there's different circumstances. People move to a brand new area. We just met a couple, oh my gosh, they do so much real estate together. And they actually started, hold on one second, gotta pick up the baby. They started not knowing anyone in the area. What did they do? They did open houses and they door knocked. Okay, yes, that is something that
To meet people, yeah.
to meet people. But guess what they did? So you have one client, you nurture, love on that client, and then they tell other people how much they love working with you. If you want a good real estate business, you want a referral business, and it's not just in real estate, it's anything else. We talk about mortgage, talk about life insurance, health insurance, all kinds of different businesses. In fact, I have friends that have so many different businesses, and the reason why they're so successful is because they love on people. They put people first, and that's all that it's about.
So speaking of love, you guys that are listening to this that are our people, our referral partners, thank you so much for trusting us and sending us your business. It happens every single year. Our business just keeps growing because of you, because of our friends, because of our previous clients who became friends, and the relationships we have with you guys. I can't even thank you enough for the trust and how good it feels when somebody calls me and says they're calling because so-and-so gave them our number and said they're going to take care of you. That's the best feeling in the world. So
I absolutely
thank
love
you.
that. I love that. You know, and so you can have someone that just refers you and says you don't want to use anyone else, and then they might go research other things, and then they're saying, you know what, I actually trust this person so much that I know you're going to take great care of me. And that's what it's all about. Because we do have some discount stuff going on out there, right? We all know about it, but also you got to look at those reviews. Look at how a lot of people are feeling after those transactions. So just put people first. That's the number one. Don't have expectations on what you're going to get in return. Just put them first, protect them, and you're just going to create all the relationships that you want and be super successful.
Awesome. And that's what I love about these walks. And we start talking about our relationship, then that makes us start thinking of our team, and then that starts making us think about our clients and our friends and our business, because it's all intertwined for us, right? Since we moved to EXP, our kids, because of the opportunities offered there, our kids wanted to play in this arena with us, and they've all gotten their real estate licenses, and their growth potential is unlimited as well. Because as real estate agents, and this is relative to anything, right? But as real estate agents, they're so transaction based that they gotta work. I mean, real estate good ones work their butts off. They work hard. There's so much that goes in behind the scenes, but they gotta keep doing it, you know? They take time off and their business suffers. And so what we love is the ability to build assets and residual income and have something that can survive us. I look at some of the independent brokers out there, some of them are really good friends, and I wonder if they've ever contemplated what would happen to their family if something happened to them. All of their agents would disband because the leader is gone, right? And they would go to other brokerages and their careers would move on and their lives would move on. But what would happen to the family if something happened to that, independent broker? The business is over. And so building something that survives your physical activity and your manual labor every single day is so important. So we'll talk more about that later. And
well, I think if you know us and you know what we've built and why we built it, if you've heard our earlier story of Jeff's father passing away early and realizing he wanted something to survive him for his family, was our first focus, was to create that legacy. And then if you've heard my story, which is hearing stories of lots of successful people behind me, but then there was no legacy, that's why we're so into creating residual income for our family and the generations after us, and also creating a lifestyle freedom to be able to come on a walk like this and enjoy the day and have the things and the lifestyle that we want because of the work and effort that we've done. And there's other things too, is as a real estate agent, starting to look at different ways to free up your time, like using a transaction coordinator is so important. And what we realize is that people try to do everything, and we really are trying to teach them They don't have to do everything. Just do what you're really good at, because you become, okay, what?
Yeah. I'm just agreeing with you, Kate. Okay.
He does that to me sometimes, and that throws me off.
Didn't mean to.
So anyway, what I was saying is, as a real estate agent, we learn that we don't learn in the very beginning to follow our personality and be the agent that does what we're really good at, and that often doesn't entail transaction coordinating in the back end. And so those are one of the things that we've.
Got some kids coming up here. Okay. Let's just walk onto the grass. Come on, Des.
So yes, creating that lifestyle of having a good time, working hard, having the things that you want, and having good communication with your spouse and your family.
It's sloshy wet right now.
Can't concentrate.
All right, guys. Well, let's just wrap this up. Didn't mean to turn this into a real estate thing, but that's what we do. That's who we are, and that's an important part of our life and our relationships. And we do have some good advice there, I think. And we're super happy and stoked for the relationships we have in our life because of real estate, and we get to serve, and we look forward to doing more of that. But like we started out talking on this, anniversaries for our awesome kids and our relationship. I again encourage you to look up that book, 5 Love Languages. It was very impactful for us. And when we went through that book, here's what we did together. There's no way one of you is going to read that book and then have a conversation with your partner and be able to explain the concepts. Hey, guess what I learned? And they're going to get it in the same way. We literally listened to an audiobook together on a drive to go visit our kids in Nevada. And it was amazing how many times we pushed pause and then had a conversation, and we went a little deeper on some of the stuff we were learning. And again, just one of the reasons why our relationship is so great is because we work at it. And so that's just a suggestion for you guys on one thing that will really, really, really improve your relationship if you both get on the same page by discovering and learning what the other partner's really about.
It's compromising, guys. It's all about compromising, because I know I frustrate Jeff a lot. I think one of those realizations that I had probably late 20s was, I'm not easy to be married to. And I say this to a lot of people, as before, a lot of things I would say, if he would. And then when I really sat down and thought about it, I thought, oh my gosh, you are a difficult person to be married to. Not everybody would be able to handle what he can handle, and vice versa. You know, he's very entrepreneurial, very driven, has fantastic ideas, and he flourishes when he's able to implement those ideas and not be held back. So, you know, pay attention to who you're with, and
love it.
Yeah,
love you guys. Love you.
Love you.
We're gonna sign off for now. Hopefully we see you next week. Okay, bye.